can you read this letter? Very important, twin girls led single dad veteran to billionaire rescue. The story begins on a cold evening when a tired single dad veteran named Jack sat on a park bench with his twin daughters, Lily and Emma. Their shoes were worn, their jackets thin, and their laughter carried a strength far greater than their little bodies. Jack tried to smile for them, but inside, he felt the crushing weight of unpaid bills, rejection after rejection from jobs, and the haunting memories of the battlefield. He had sacrificed everything for his country, but now, no one seemed to care. Lily, the older by just 2 minutes, tugged on his sleeve. Daddy, can you read this letter? She handed him a folded, crumpled piece of paper. Jack opened it carefully. It was their handwriting, messy and childlike, filled with crossed-out words and shaky sentences. Dear world, it began, our daddy is the bravest man we know. He fights nightmares, he fights hunger, and he still tucks us in with a smile. If someone out there can help him, please do. Because we love him more than anything. Tears blurred Jack's vision. He couldn't finish reading out loud, his voice cracked, and Emma climbed into his lap, whispering, Don't cry, Daddy. Somebody will hear it. What Jack didn't know was that his daughters had posted that very letter at the park, taped on a light pole, hoping a kind stranger would see. Days later, a black car pulled up near the playground where Jack usually watched his girls play. Out stepped a sharply dressed man, guarded yet curious. He held the letter in his hand. His name was Daniel Cross, a billionaire investor known for his cold heart and sharper business deals. He wasn't the type to stop for anyone, yet this letter wouldn't leave his mind. Something about the shaky handwriting and the word, bravest, pierced him. At first, Jack thought it was a joke. A billionaire showing up because of a child's note. But Daniel didn't smile. He simply said, Is this yours? And handed Jack the letter. Jack froze. The twins hid behind his legs, peeking out with wide eyes. Yes, Jack finally admitted, ashamed. He expected anger, maybe pity, but instead, Daniel looked him straight in the eye and asked, Why didn't you ask for help yourself? Jack swallowed hard. Because a soldier doesn't beg. I'll find a way, I always do. The billionaire saw something in that moment, an echo of his own past. Few knew Daniel had once been abandoned by his father and raised by a struggling mother. He had clawed his way to the top, but along the journey, he had lost the warmth of family. Looking at Jack, with his torn boots and proud shoulders, and the little girls holding onto him like he was their entire world, Daniel felt something he hadn't in years, compassion. Still, help didn't come easy. Jack refused charity. He refused money. If you want to help me, he told Daniel firmly, give me a chance to work. That's all I need. Daniel smirked, intrigued by his pride. So he tested him. He brought Jack into one of his companies, not as a leader, not even as an office worker, but as a night shift guard. Most men would have walked away, insulted. But Jack showed up, night after night, never complaining, never cutting corners. His daughters waited for him with warm cocoa, cheering their hero every dawn. One evening, during his rounds, Jack discovered a group of men smuggling company data out of the building. He could have stayed quiet, but his soldier's instinct kicked in. Outnumbered, he still confronted them, fought to protect what wasn't even his. When the dust settled, Daniel himself came down, summoned by the security alert. He found Jack bruised, but standing tall, holding the stolen files in one hand. I said I needed a chance, Jack told him through heavy breaths. This is me proving it. Daniel was stunned. This wasn't just loyalty, it was integrity. The next morning, he invited Jack and the twins to his mansion. They sat awkwardly at the long dining table, the girls whispering in awe at the golden chandeliers. Daniel leaned forward, studying Jack's determined face. You're not just a worker, he said slowly. You're a leader. And leaders are rare. I want you to run a project for me, something big. From that day, Jack's life began to change. With every challenge, he poured his discipline, his honesty, and his relentless courage into Daniel's trust. Slowly, his reputation grew. Business leaders who once mocked him now listened when he spoke. And all along, his daughters never stopped reminding him why he fought, because he wasn't just building a career, he was rebuilding their future. Months later, at a grand charity gala hosted by Daniel, the billionaire made an announcement that shocked the city. I built my empire with money, he said into the microphone, but tonight, I want to honor a man who reminded me of something far greater: honor, sacrifice, and love." He turned toward Jack, who stood frozen in the crowd, his daughters gripping his hands. "This man will not only be my partner but also the one to lead our new foundation for veterans and children in need. Jack, you didn't just earn a job, you earned a family." The audience erupted into applause. Lily and Emma jumped up and down, shouting, "That's our daddy." Jack's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in years, he felt seen, valued, respected. And as Daniel placed a hand on his shoulder, Jack whispered to his daughters, "See. Your letter, it really changed everything." So, dear viewers, if you believe in miracles, remember this: sometimes, the smallest voices, written in a child's shaky handwriting, can reach the biggest hearts. Jack didn't just get rescued by a billionaire, he became someone else's rescue, too. And you never know, your story, your words, your courage, might be the very thing someone out there needs to hear.